Hi there, and thanks for joining the Songwriter Life. This series is about the art and the magic of songwriting, at least songwriting as I practice it. I intend to present to you my own songs, either ones I've already recorded or sometimes songs I'm working on right now to try and shed some light on how these songs came about. I hope through this that it might help you in your songwriting endeavors, and together we might explore some of the mysteries surrounding what we're talking about here. The song I'd like to talk about today is called Bitter Wind. It's a song from the first album I recorded called Breaking Time. And one day I was in my garage and I looked down on the floor and there was a piece of paper around there and I was cleaning up kind of thing, getting ready to do some renovations. Turned out it was a couple of verses of a song that I'd started a couple of years before, and it was called Bitter Wind, and I guess I just kind of lost it anyway. I decided to revisit it. You know, sometimes songs come to you and they just demand to be written, and that's kind of how that came about. The initial song came from a situation where there was a boat of about 300 or 400 Sri Lankan refugees who were trying to land in Canada. They were outside of Victoria, and it was all over the papers. And it was a pretty tragic situation. There was a lot of thoughts that they were part of some terrorists who were active in that country. But in any case, they eventually let them on land. I guess many of them were detained and questioned, and interrogated. Later on, it turned out that most of them were, in fact, pretty decent people and now live in Canada. This is about 10 years ago now. So I began to write this song. I wrote it in the key of G. Some people call it the people's key. Using a pretty standard kind of rock and roll chord progression with a G, an E minor, an A minor, and a D. And in any case, the song meandered on its own course, and as I many times do, there were a lot of verses to it, and many of the verses I eventually trimmed down. But then the song came together, and ultimately, only a couple of years later, or actually quite recently, I decided to make a video of it, and I'll follow this intro with that video, and you can hear the lyrics of the song. I thank the creators of a website called Pexel, who are artists with their short videos, very emotive, trying to get their art out there, and I do credit them in the video as it is up on other places in YouTube. So without further ado, I'd like to present you Bitter Wind. I hope that you enjoy it, first of all, but more than that, I hope that you can get some sense of how at least some songs were written and how this song was written, and will inspire you to write more, or else to understand more about the art, because it certainly does me a lot of good to write these songs, and I hope that it can do a lot of good to you to write them or sing about them. So here we go, and again, I hope you enjoy it.
There are underground stages and songs for all ages, and anyone can get to the moon. There are open-mouthed crazies and strung-out old ladies who are careful not to speak too soon. Generations come and generations go. We're all part of the same old story. If there's meaning to this, how can we dismiss the ones who are not part of the glory? It's a bitter wind blowing across this bitter wind blowing across this land. A bitter wind blowing across this land. Our boulevards of broken glass and memories that will not last, and tribes of wanton buffoons. And it's all for the glory of that last great story and the lover who left way too soon. It's a flash from the past and a night when we crashed in a forest of bottles and smoke. But there's more to this, Jack, than a barely seen track, or a song or a string or a toke. It's a bitter wind blowing across this land. Oh, we're gonna take a stand. A bitter wind blowing across this land. Bitter wind blowing across this land. And if you ask what the prize is, the sun also rises, are the orange and the blue. And the bell tolls for Moses, and there's no door that closes, won't open a new one too. There's a snake in the grass, there's a feeling won't last. Oh, why did I tell you those lies? I've got limited horizons, I see Krypton rising, but I love you